Hey everyone, Pastor Matt here. I'm the youth and family pastor at Cornerstone Church in Marshfield, and I'm here today with your Cornerstone connection. We're going to get right into the text today, and we're in Numbers chapter 16. We're going to come upon a scene that I've read Numbers before, but I forgot this scene happened, and it's quite fascinating, and it's devastating, it's tragic, but it is fascinating, and we're going to learn a lesson from this scene. So join me in Numbers chapter 16, starting in verse 31. Here's what it says. As soon as he, that being Moses, finished saying all this, the ground under them split apart. Who's them? We're about to find out. And the earth opened its mouth, and it swallowed them, with their households, and all Korah's men, and all their possessions. There's the them. Korah, his men, their households, their possessions. They went down alive into the grave with everything they owned. The earth closed over them, and they perished and were gone from the community. At their cries, all the Israelites around them fled, shouting, "The earth is going to swallow us too." And fire came out from the Lord and consumed the 250 men who were offering the incense. What a scene. Can you imagine? It makes me think of, sometimes I've seen news stories of sinkholes, where, of course, a building or some other structure was built on some land that was over a sinkhole, but of course nobody knew it. And suddenly, that sinkhole gives way, and that building is just falls into the earth. And think about that in this scene. This was not a sinkhole, though. This is something that the Lord did. This is the judgment of the Lord, that this fall would happen for these people, where they would sink down into the earth, and the earth would cover over them, and that would be their demise. And others, it was the fire. It wasn't the fall, but it was the fire being consumed by God, these 250 men. And of course, the question for us to ask today, and also to answer, is what was the reason for the fall? What was the reason for the fire? What was the reason for God's judgment? Well, it's a lesson that we probably have learned ourselves in some way, in some form. But let me go back to the beginning of Numbers chapter 16, where it starts with this in verse 1. Korah, son of Izhar, son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and certain Reubenites, Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On, son of Peleth, became insolent. There we go. And rose up against Moses. With them were 250 Israelite men. We saw them get consumed by fire. Well-known community leaders who had been appointed members of the council. They came as a group to oppose Moses and Aaron and said to them, "You have gone too far. The whole community is holy or set apart. Every one of them, and the Lord is with them. Why then do you, Moses and Aaron, set yourselves above the Lord's assembly?" Listen to Moses' response and watch his response. Verse 4, when Moses heard this, he fell face down, humility. Then he said to Korah and all his followers, "In the morning the Lord will show who belongs to him and who is holy, and he will have that person come near him. The man he chooses he will cause to come near him. You, Korah, and all your followers are to do this. Take censers, and tomorrow put fire and incense in them before the Lord. The man the Lord chooses will be the one who is holy." And then Moses says, "You Levites have gone too far." So what preceded the fall into the earth, into the pit of the earth? What preceded the consumption by fire and the Lord's judgment? It's pride. It's pride. We see Korah and his followers coming to Moses and to Aaron and rebelling against them, becoming insolent. And really that's coming from their pride and their desire to be in the seat of Moses and Aaron, their desire to be the leaders, their desire to be seen as holy, as set apart, not only in the eyes of the Lord, but in the eyes of all of Israel. It's pride. And it's the old adage, right? Pride comes before the fall. And in this case, pride came before the fall and the fire. May we take a lesson from today's Cornerstone Connection, from today's text in Numbers chapter 16. Isn't it easy for us as human beings to become prideful, to think that we deserve more, that we've earned more, that we've achieved enough in order to get a certain amount of recognition? Oh Lord, make us humble like Moses. Make us humble like Moses, who even when these insolent men come and they oppose him and Aaron, he doesn't necessarily fight back in the moment. He falls face down, an act of humility. And may we mirror that humility so that we don't have a fall or get consumed by fire, quote unquote, like the men of Korah. Friends, humility will always take us further than pride ever can. Have a great day. We'll see you next time on the Cornerstone Connection.